Hello viewers, in this video we are going to be discussing the issue of setting cookie in browser. Sometimes when you are developing an application, you notice that when you want to set your cookie, the cookie does not set in the browser. So let us see how we can solve this issue so that our cookie can be set properly. Now, when you are working on your application, there are two aspects that you need to look into. Number one, what you are using to make requests to your backend. Number two, what your backend settings is all about. This application has this particular cookie set. The cookie name is farm, the value is this, the domain is this, the path, the expires time, the size of data and the cookie, the HTTP only, and the same site. Now, we are going to see how these things are in the backend and what we need to do in the front end. So let me delete this cookie. So we are going to be working with application area as well as network area to see our network status. So for the front end, the first thing that you need to ensure is to know the nature of what you are using to make requests to your backend. Now, for this front end, I'm using Next.js and I'm using this function to make that request. So I'm using ACOs. If you are using fetch, the setting will be different. So, and the backend endpoint is this. So this backend endpoint, I don't have to export it. It is just something I will use in this place. So now, this is the backend endpoint. And note this axios.defaults.credential is equal to true. What this would do is allow your cookies to be set in the browser. If this setting is not true or is removed, by default, the cookie will not be set in the browser. But if you are using fetch, you will have to include credentials, that is credentials include. Now, these are the basic settings for your front end. No more, no less. So unless you are dealing with some environment where they have to say that you need to set your proxy proxy to 1. Now, let me now go to the backend. The backend, there are some few things that we need to do. Number one, for your cookie to sync, to set to response header, there are some few things that you need to do, irrespective of any runtime that you are using for your backend. Here, it is Python Flask. So the first thing that you need to ensure is core. For any Java, Node, PHP, there is core equivalent that will do the same thing. So when you have your cores, you need to do support credential to equals to true. So once this is there, so now what you are going to see is that the response header will have that cookie set. Now, to now set your cookie, you will have to go to your cookie environment. So I think I have my cookie set in this environment here. Let me go to my lib cookie. So this is it, limes cookie. Yeah. So in this place, what we are doing is set cookie, and this is a function with several parameters. So this is a class with one static method. So with all the parameter of the cookie to be set. So you will notice some settings. This is the name, this is the value, this is the expire, this is secure, this is HTTP only, this is same site, this is part, why this is a domain. One thing I need to tell you that is very essential is that in this place, don't try to put IP address like 127.0.0.1. It won't work. So what you have to put is your domain name. So now, putting your domain name in this place will make it work. And as well, in your request, putting your domain name is very important. If you put IP address here, you are going to encounter issues. So now I think our backend is working, is up and running. So you can see that the request is coming down, and the front end is also working. So let me see the front end console. Yes, it's working. Now we're going to try to see what cookie is set for this application. So let us go back to the application now. The cookie is not set. So let me go to the login of that application. Let me go to the view one and users login. So what is happening here is that when user is logging, we are going to when user is logging, we are going to generate a response, and that response we are going to put our data, and we are going to set response header to application JSON, and by default I think it's there, but I just have to put it here to ensure that it's there. So now we are going to use that cookie function to set the cookie and the name. So the cookie will have to take a response, and the name is fine, the expire, the value, the expiring, HTTP only, which is true. So HTTP only, that is to say, it is true for not HTTPS, but it is secure to default because I'm working in a local environment. For your production, this one has to be true so that the cookie will be set for secure socket layer only. So like you are using HTTPS. Now, same site is strict, it can be strict, it can be lax, it can be none. But what is very important, I have told you in this particular set cookie function that your domain that's not to be IP address, that to be domain name. So your course, you have to use it in the landing page of your application. Well, that is app area. You have to set your core and support credentials to be there. Now let us see what will now happen if front end make request to back end now. So this is our login. Let us put our login credentials, and let us go to network first. Under the network, we're gonna see the login status. Here is the login, it is a 200 OK response, status response. So response status for login for the front end. Let us now look at sending this request to the back end. If there is anything that will happen, of course something will happen. Now we can now see login to have status code of 200, which is okay. So we're going to look at this response. No, that is not what we want to do. So we are going to see response header. In our response header, let us see what are those things that is there. So now, in our response header, we can see cookies in this response header, and I think there is a problem with that. But I need to do some things to see that the cookies actually appears there. But I think it actually works. But this is a security issue. So now let us see. So the response header does not have the cookie header, and this is request header. So for the request header, okay, this is the host, this is the origin where the request is coming from. So this is the server host at port 5000. This is at port 3000. It's not the same. Same set origin is not the same. So now, if I go back to my response header, no set cookies parameter here. I can't say it. So I can't say it. But the question is, let us say maybe the cookie is set. Yeah, the cookie is actually set. But the question is, does that mean that if the cookie is set, it will be removed from the header? But let us do some play around to see what will happen to this cookie. So the first thing I want to do is to go into this place and say that HTTP only. Let me turn this one to false. What will happen if I do that? And if I do this one to none, what will happen? So let's back to our application login page and let's remove this cookie. If we do remove it, let's see what will happen. Let's see what will happen. So I put in the login, the credentials, and I try to log in. So now it is set, you see. Now it is set, but this is another cookie entirely with different value, the same name. You can see what is happening in this browser. Let me try to make this place bigger so that you can see what is going on. What I want you to see here is this none, which is same side that we have set. Look at what is happening. Look at this warning. This attempt to set a cookie via set cookie header was blocked. It is blocked because it has the same set none attribute, but did not have the secure attribute which is required in order to use same site none. So that is to say, you cannot use none when you don't have secure attributes in place. So this cookie does not set. If you reload the page, it will be removed immediately. But let's go to network area and look at our response header here. So the response header is still hiding that cookie. So we're still going to see what is going on, and I believe it is working. So this is our response header. Let me see the preview. It doesn't have any preview. So there is the report, the preview is not really coming, and the response is not coming. Maybe that is due to some factor, because now the page is out of the login environment, but the response is there. So no, this method is not allowed. No, it's not going to be allowed. So that is after that. Now let us see what we can do again. Let us see what we can play around with again. So let us go to this application and reload the page and see what will happen to this cookie. So it has been removed, why this one is not. So now let us delete this one as well and go back to the backend, and let us say this one is slacks. Let's say this one is last and HTTP only. Let us still leave it as false. Okay. So now this one said that invalid token. So let's go back to login page. So now, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Anyhow, so let us see. So what happened? Do we have cookie? Yeah, we have cookie set. We have cookie set. You know, it is not HTTP only, and it is set. Now, let's go back to the network tab. Where is our login 200 status code? Yeah. Okay, I think this is it. This is our 200 status code, the one that should carry the set cookie header. I'm sorry for not identifying this. You can see the sign is different from the one that we are looking at previously, and the request is request TS. So let us see this one. That is it. And let us see. So we can see now that set cookie is actually there. Set cookie is actually there when it is laxed state. But if it is strict, what will happen? Does that mean that for setting it is strict, this set cookie will not be here and it will still be set? So that is to say, lax and strict, they have different security issues. For me, if that strict actually does not show this particular set cookie in the response header, it is more secure than lax. So let us go back to further demonstration and see what we're going to get. Let us go back to login and reload the page and come back to application area and reloaded the page. The cookie is still there. It's not yet expired. Let us delete the cookie. And let us now go to our backend file and make this guy strict. So, and still leave the HTTP only false. Okay, let's see what we're gonna have here. Okay, so let go. So let us see, maybe it is set. Yes, it is set. Let us go to our network tab. For our network tab, can you see that the sign for this login things has changed again? Which means, let us go up. Maybe we are going to see any login that has, okay, this is our login that will carry that particular set cookie. Okay, it is here. So this is the one that will carry the cookie. It is straight and it shows. But if you look at this status code of login, this is not the response that will carry the set cookie. Okay, so this is what I need to let you guys know when it comes to issue of setting the cookie. The cookie should be here. You can see the sign is different from the one. So the response header should send that particular cookie, either it is strict or lax, it will be there. I get me. So now you can see that tweaking this particular setting does not actually affect our cookie setting in header as well as in browser. But what will affect it is that if we change that domain to IP address, you know what I'm talking about now. Okay, let's go one more time. One more time. Okay, go back to the login and let us go back to our application and remove the cookie. Why not? We are going to remove the cookie. So no, sorry, I've removed the cookie. So the login will not be more. It will be validated more. So now let me go to login. Now we are in the login page and let us enter our credential for HTTP only to be true for now. But in our production, I think that HTTP only have to be false and secure to be true in production environment. Please note it for security reason. Hacker can get you by if you don't set your cookie very well. So now our cookie is set, it's working perfectly. And on our network tab, oh sorry, our network tab, this is not the login status that we want to look at, because that one will not contain our response for login. So the status that we're looking at, where is it? Where is it? Okay, it is here. Thank you. Okay, there is it. I click on it twice, so you do not have to do that. Now you can see HTTP only is true, and it appears at the same side is strict. So this is how you can work around your cookie. So one of the major effects of this cookie is taking care of your front end, allow credentials, your back end, allow credentials, as well as do not use IP address instead of domain name.